So, you've probably seen the headlines. Verizon is laying off thousands of people. But what if I told you that's only half the story? We're going to go inside one of the biggest corporate shakeups of the year to get to the real forces at play way beyond just the shocking numbers. Let's dig in.
It all kicked off with this one number, 15,000. In late 2025, reports started surfacing that Verizon was planning to cut about 15% of its entire global workforce. Now, for a company that big, that isn't just trimming the fat. That is a massive, seismic shift.
And that, of course, leads to the big question, right? Why would a corporate giant like Verizon, a name that's basically synonymous with stability, make such a drastic move? Well, as we're about to see, there's no single, simple answer here. Instead, it's a story about the incredible pressures facing even the biggest players in the game today.
Really, the best way to think about this whole situation is to see it as a perfect financial storm. This isn't just one problem that got out of hand. Oh no, it's a bunch of powerful forces all hitting at the exact same time, squeezing the company from every possible direction.
So what's actually fueling this storm? Well, our sources point to 5 big pressures. You've got the absolutely astronomical cost of building out new 5G and fiber networks. You've got revenue that's just gone totally flat. Then there's the brutal, fierce competition. On top of that, you've got investors on Wall Street demanding deep, deep cuts. And finally, rising interest rates are making their existing debt a much, much heavier burden. It's a squeeze from all sides.
Let's just zoom in on that competition piece for a second, because it is a huge part of this story. The telecom market has become an absolute battleground. And the threat isn't just from the usual suspects anymore. It's coming from new players who are totally changing the rules of the game. And wow, this chart really puts that whole challenge into focus. You can see that while Verizon's subscriber growth has slowed way down, partly because, cable companies like Comcast and Charter are now in the mobile business, T-Mobile has just been on an absolute tear, aggressively snatching up market share. It's pretty clear Verizon is playing defense right now.
So how does Wall Street react to all this pressure? Well, this quote from reports about Verizon's new leadership, it says everything. This isn't a suggestion. It's a direct order from investors. The message is cut costs, get lean, and do it now.
Okay, so we've pretty much covered the why. Now let's get into the how. What is Verizon's actual playbook for getting through the storm and making those powerful investors happy?
From everything we've analyzed, the strategy really boils down to 2 main things. First, a pretty radical overhaul of their physical stores. And second, a massive push to automate their internal operations and customer support, leaning heavily on new technology.
And when they say overhaul retail, this is exactly what they're talking about, franchising. The plan is to convert up to 200 of their corporate-owned stores into locations run by franchisees. By doing this, Verizon instantly moves massive costs. I mean, we're talking salaries, benefits, rent, poof, they're directly off its own books. It's a seriously fast way to get a leaner balance sheet.
The other half of this playbook? It's all tech. Verizon is reportedly going all in on AI and automation to handle tasks that people used to do. Think about it. AI that can spot a network fault before it even happens, or chatbots handling the huge volume of routine customer service questions. So we have the problem and we have the playbook. But what are the real-world consequences here? This is about the ripple effect, and not just on thousands of employees, but on the network and the services that millions of us rely on every single day.
So who's feeling this the most? The reports indicate the cuts are really concentrated in 3 main areas. First up, corporate and mid-management roles are being streamlined. Second, retail staff at those stores that are being converted into franchises. And third, a lot of traditional support roles that are now being targeted by all this new automation.
But here is a really fascinating twist in this whole story. While thousands of these corporate and retail jobs are disappearing, another part of the business is actually booming. That massive investment in 5G and fiber, well, it requires a small army of field technicians and engineers to physically go out and build it. So this isn't just a layoff, it's a fundamental reshaping of their entire workforce.
Of course, a restructuring this big, it doesn't happen without some serious risks. Sources are pointing to 3 major concerns for Verizon. You've got a potential nosedive in employee morale, a possible decline in customer support quality as automated systems take over, and maybe even slower network maintenance. If they don't manage this stuff perfectly, it could do some serious long-term damage to the brand.
And all of this leaves us with one big, final question to think about. As so many companies out there face these exact same pressures, intense competition, high costs, that relentless drive for efficiency, is what we're watching happen at Verizon just a preview of the future for everyone else? It's a question that might just affect all of us.